Welcome back to Behind the Strength podcast, where we improve your health, wealth, and peace of mind.
I'm Carlo Balagase.
And I'm Christian Alvarez. For those of you who are first joining us now, we are entrepreneurs who have built up a fitness and therapy business over the last 8 years. We started from literally nothing into a multi-million-dollar company. And so we've been through quite a bit over the last how many years in fitness and helping clients with their fitness journeys and in business. So we're here to help you guys so that you don't make the same mistakes we did.
Yeah, two high school friends at 25 years old in 2011. Got a small little 2,000 square foot facility. Now we built it up to 11,200 square feet and help thousands of lives. So we're here to help you.
Yes. So if you guys if you have any questions from our past episodes or any comments, please do contact us at
bts@strengthenyou.com. That's Bobby Terry Sandy at strength the letter N the letter U.com.
Today's a special day. We have a very, very good friend of ours who is joining us. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Michelle Pierce.
She is a great friend of ours, and she has also been a member here since the day we started, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I've known personally Michelle for about 15 years and Carlo for almost the same amount of time.
Yep.
So we've gone back. We have some history together, from the days of just trying to get her to eat a piece of lettuce. But, we've personally seen each other all grow together, all growth over the years. Mm-hmm. And through some hardships and all that stuff, we've kind of helped each other out. So today, we'd like for you guys to hear Michelle's story out because she's got a lot to say, and man, does she have a lot of wisdom for you, Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Michelle. And I think a very special thing with Michelle is that she was one of the first people to even ever do a class.
Yes.
When nobody believed in us and we had to beg people.
Yes.
Call
your friends.
And her life story as well embodies what Strengthen You embodies. It's not about just looking good and whatever. It's about feeling good. It's about feeling that micro accomplishment within your hour here that makes you, that catapults everything else in your life and makes you believe and gives you enough energy and to conquer whatever. And that's why we kind of wanted to bring Michelle here, not only just to speak about the old days, the starting off days, but about how it's helped you in your life and how your amazing life stories has come to fruition. So
Yes.
welcome.
Thanks.
So currently you still train with, I think it's going on to almost 7 years plus now. You've been training with Chris 10, right?
Yes.
Yes. And how are you enjoying that?
Well, it's a love-hate relationship. During the time, it's a lot of hate. But I'm not going to lie, but he pushes me beyond anything I could do, even though the classes here are great. When you go on that one-on-one training, they're zoning in on your weaknesses. They know what to do to push you. And it's also mental therapy as well. We get along really well. You can talk about things, you can set goals, and even after you've forgotten that you've set that goal, they remind you of the goal, push you towards it, and it's a great feeling when you accomplish it.
Now you've when you first started here, you were just kind of doing workouts on your own.
Right.
I mean, we did leave off doing some nutrition together, some training, and while I was in transition of opening this business up with Carlo, you were kind of training on your own, right?
Right.
So did you see like significant differences in the time when you were kind of training on your own, and then also being guided, and then coming in here and being guided now by somebody that's a professional?
Oh, it's a huge difference because I don't know for everyone else, but on my own, you can give up. You can say, I've got something else to do. You can walk away. You can make excuses.
You can not even show up if you want to.
You can make excuses. Or you can show up and spend 5 minutes and run out and think you've done your job.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count? Shoot.
But when someone else is training you and holding your feet to the fire and saying, come on, you set this goal for yourself, or you want to be stronger. And then every now and then what Chris will do with me is he'll show me how strong I am.
Right.
He'll do something that will test my strength. And you're amazed at how strong you are.
I think it's important to set the stage for everybody. You're not just a normal person. You're no, I'm not.
I'm not a normal person.
So yeah, okay. Like they're listening, like, oh,
Yeah.
who gives a shit about this lady who's just doing personal training? Like, you're a single mother.
Right. And a grandmother.
And a grandmother.
And a grandmother.
How old are you?
I don't care. I'm 57.
You're 57 years
Wow.
old.
Yeah.
Single mother, right? For how many years now?
Bria's 25, so 24.
24 years,
Yeah.
and you're an entrepreneur.
Right. And 3 kids.
3 kids.
And a grandson.
And a grandson. And you come how many days a week?
Almost every day.
5-6 days.
I come at least 5 days a week. I play soccer one night, so I don't come that night. And then I try to rest
You have
one
no
day.
excuse.
And this is the reason why I wanted to bring you in today, and we wanted to speak to you, because it's like everybody has that excuse of, and you hear it all the time, like, hey, oh, you're getting too old.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
You hear
Why
that.
are you doing
Why are
this?
you doing this?
What did you say? Somebody asked you the other day about, like, why do you work out so hard?
Yeah. Why do I want to work out so hard? Why do I go? Because I work for myself. I'm an accountant.
Yes.
I was leaving a client. I was hurrying up to get to the gym to do a class. So they know that I'm always saying I got to leave. I got to get to a class. And they were like, why do you work out so hard? Why do you do this? Why, it's time that you stop this now. They act like it's a game for children. Yeah.
Wow.
Or people ask me why I still play soccer.
Is it in the context of like, why are you still holding on? Is that like that?
It's
or,
in like
or-
there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
Why
This is
are
not
you-
normal for a
Why
person
are
your
you doing
age.
this? Yes.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
is there a reason that you're doing this?
Okay.
Like why do you keep doing this? And you're fine. You look fine. Why do you keep pushing yourself physically? And it's time. I've been told it's time.
So
I
okay,
stop.
that's a great question to start off. Why do you keep pushing yourself?
Why do you do it?
Because
What is the mentality behind Michelle Pierce that's so different than everybody else your age, your circumstances, all that shit?
Because I think that growing old is something you succumb to. Everybody ages, and that's why I have no problem telling my age.
Yeah.
But I don't want to grow old. I
Wow,
want
and
to
there's a
push
huge
myself
difference.
to see what I can do at every stage of my life. I don't think you just say, okay, now I'm 50, so I've got to stop this, or I'm 40, so I have to stop this. I started
Yes.
playing soccer at 40 with my kids.
Oh, wow, you started
Yeah,
at
I
40.
started at 40
Damn.
because I was always watching my kids play soccer, and someone said, "Why aren't there's a league in Pickering? You should try. You should play." And I was like, "Okay, I'll start," because I used to play as a teenager.
Yeah.
So I started playing soccer again at 40, and my son jokes with me, and he says, "There's an over 30 league. You have children over 30 that you can be in an over 30 league." But
Yeah.
I like playing with my daughters, and so. Well, now Alana's 30, so she could be in the over 30
Yeah.
league too. But we play in an over 18 league. So you just feel good. It's not about, I just feel good doing it. So I keep doing it.
Wow.
That's amazing. So that's what really pushes you to come in here every single day. And you
Because I feel good.
And you make a point to do it.
Well, I have to do it. I have to do it because as much as it helps you physically, it really helps me mentally. I have a lot of pressure in my day. As I said, I'm a single parent.
1000%. You're an
I work for
entrepreneur.
myself. I deal with clients' problems. As I said, I'm a chartered accountant, so I'm on the phone dealing with their problems, helping them with financing. I'm under stress pretty much all the time.
Right.
And when I come in here, I walk in tense and I leave just
And
totally better.
as we know, stress is a major cause for a lot of health issues that come about these days.
lot.
A lot. And it's probably the major cause of
Yes.
health issues. Now, if I may actually ask, have there been any health issues in your family history before?
My family or myself? Because
Your
they're both.
family. Oh,
My
for both, I
family-
guess, for
My
both?
family has a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My older sisters had a minor heart attack. My mother has
Jesus.
high blood pressure.
Okay.
She's had heart bypass.
Heart bypass, yeah.
My father had dementia.
Okay.
So there's a lot of health issues.
Right,
So
right.
that's always in the forefront.
Right.
And
So
I'm
part
always
of
trying
it
to work
is-
at that
so
too.
part
You
of
wanna
it
take
is that
care
it's
of
in the back
yourself.
of my-
Right.
And as we all know, even for like mental aspect, the
Right.
stimulation aspect of this does so much for your health, for
Oh, it
any
does.
mental health problem or anything like that.
Yeah.
That comes about neurologically, working out and stimulating yourself on a mental
It's
note.
equal. You cannot expect to get a lot from your mind if you don't also take care of your body.
Take
It's
note of that,
both of
everybody.
them. People always think because they see me in the gym that it's just about the physical, but it isn't. Because then when someone sees me at home, I'm always reading. So they're like, "Oh, you're always reading." It's both sides of the coin.
Yes.
You can't just have one without the other.
Take note of
and
that,
I think
please.
that's what it is. It's trying to create that balance
Yes.
that helps you. I mean, we don't know what our future holds, but if you're not trying, at least if something happens, you can say, "Well, I did my best."
Right.
I did my best. And you can't say, well, I wish I could go back and fix this, because at the end of the day, your health is the most important thing. When your health is gone, then no matter how much money you have or all the things you've acquired, it doesn't matter.
So let me ask you, what pushed you to? I mean, you were trying stuff on your own. You were working out on your own, whatever, for a bit. Besides the fact that we were friends, and
Yeah.
and you decided to come in here, to support us.
Right.
What got you to say, hey, listen, I need help with this fitness journey of mine? Like years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
and why did you give two young kids with a shitty looking small facility a chance?
Because it's a feeling you get when you come in here, and I knew you knew this was gonna be it.
Really?
Like, yeah, I knew it. because of the way
Can you
that
tell?
the classes were.
Can you tell people what it was like when we first, when you,
It was-
what you saw in your head?
Yeah.
Because we could say what we saw.
Yeah.
I'm actually. I've never asked this
Yeah.
from anybody. What did you see in your through your eyes when you came to SNU for the first time and you trained for the first time?
I saw that vision that you had. You can see it. I mean, it's in your logo. You saw the vision. No two classes were the same. The music was great. The atmosphere was great. You pushed beyond what I physically felt I could do. And it was always that way. You never came in. I've been here. You said you're here 8 years.
Yes.
I didn't even know I had to count in the car because it doesn't feel like 8 years.
Right.
I've never been with a gym that long. I've
Wow.
trained my
Here and
entire
there,
life.
yes.
I've been, played sports from I was little and trained my entire life. Never been at one gym that long. Have no intention of going anywhere. So good luck to you guys trying to get me out.
Awesome. That's great.
But it is the atmosphere. It is the feeling you get when you come in. I've never been bored in a class. No two classes are the same, and I've been here 8 years.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's the
awesome.
truth.
So
It's the truth.
what got you to say, hey, listen, I need some help in my fitness journey. I would like to take this to the next step.
Because I was going up and down, and physically, I ended up having a problem that, well, I always say to people that Strengthen You saved my life literally twice.
Wow.
How so?
Once mentally. 5 years ago, my dad passed away, and we were very close, and I started to get depressed because you start trying to decide, well, why am I here? If this is what happens, I've never had someone that close to me pass away, and you start thinking, what's the point in life? Why bother? And I just started going through the motions, taking care of what I needed to take care of for my kids. And I stopped coming to the gym for a while. It was about a couple months, maybe.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
And
remember that time. It's
saw
tough.
you two in the mall. I passed you in the mall.
Yes.
And you said, where have you been? And I told you, I said, my head's just not in a good place. My dad passed away. And you said, that's when you need the gym the most. Come back to your family.
Wow.
And
yes,
I remember that because
come back to your family.
yeah,
Yes.
at that point, my doctor was trying to get me on antidepressants.
Oh shoot.
Jesus.
He was saying, you need antidepressants. You need to come out of this. I remember it was weird. He asked me, have you ever thought of suicide? And I gave him a really strange response. I said, I don't have the luxury. And he said, that's not the answer I was hear.
What do you say to that?
He looked really scared. He said, you need antidepressants. I said, I don't have the luxury of suicide. I have children to take care of.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's not what I want to hear. And so he said, you need antidepressants. And he gave me a prescription. I have no problem with people. Everybody does what you need to do.
Yeah.
But for me, I took
wasn't
it
your
and it
best.
zoned me out. Because I can't take prescriptions. I don't even drink. My body isn't tolerant to it.
Yes.
And I took it and I went home and sat on the couch and dozed off.
So it
And
made
I-
you feel cloudy?
Yeah.
Like what,
It just
You
zoned
couldn't
me out.
function,
I
eh?
couldn't function. I just sat down.
Like slow
was
down,
your
right
depression
down.
actually did you feel like, but you just
I
felt
just
numb?
didn't feel anything. I felt numb. I felt gutted. And I just
Wow.
sat there.
It's like an opiate.
But I
Yeah,
can't-
because
but I
I
can't
don't drink.
imagine,
I
though.
don't drink. I don't take
Yeah.
like even a Tylenol. I have to cut it in
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
So when I took this antidepressant, I was just like, and my kids were, Mom, you can't do this to yourself.
So pretty much they give you this shit just to numb out.
I don't know what the purpose of it is. I guess it's not
That's
to
actually
feel
pretty,
depressed.
That's actually pretty scary though.
It's
if you
not
think
to
about
feel
it, it's like
depressed. It doesn't take you to a normal state.
Yeah.
But you're not
it
depressed.
just stops the depression.
It's like a cloud. I felt like a veil. There was a veil that was over me. And I just sat in the couch and I'm like, this is it. And I was a couple days later, going through the mall, saw you guys, and you guys were like, come back. You need to come back to your family. And I was like, yeah, I do. Maybe that'll be. And I've come back and haven't
You've been
left
strong.
since.
Yeah, you've been strong.
And I remember one time leaving the gym and I was laughing at something happened in the gym or the music or something. I thought, I'm laughing again. Like I'm happy
is
again.
huge.
Yeah.
It was.
That's huge.
It was. It
That is a
really
break-
took me,
that's like
yeah.
a
It really
moment,
made
yeah.
me realize that, it was this balance that you can't succumb to these things and go down the hole. Like you have to force yourself back
Yeah.
out. And that was what this did to me. That was one time that I said, and mentally, remember, I was going through this thing, and I was playing soccer and having trouble catching people. Like I'd chase somebody down, I'd be winded, and I'm looking around thinking, am I the only one who's winded? And everyone else looks good. And people started saying to me, you're getting old. Time you put away
boy.
soccer.
You don't tell
Stop
Michelle
playing
Pierce
soccer.
that.
You're getting old. And I came to you and I told you, and even in the gym, I remember doing stride jumps. And I told you that I was winded. And you said, go see your doctor. And then it happened that I ended up having a fibroid problem. I had low blood. I had an iron count of
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
had an
remember
iron,
this.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a-
I
I had
remember
an iron count of
Thank
4.
goodness we actually said that. Go see
Yeah,
somebody.
and when your doctor sent me to a specialist, they said it's a wonder you haven't had a heart attack. They
Jesus
said because you were in
Christ.
such good shape, that's why you didn't have a heart attack.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So
because
your
I had
shape
no blood.
saved you
Yeah,
from pretty much dying.
yeah, I had no blood and I didn't realize it.
But those things were
holy
going on in your
shit.
system
Yeah.
and you didn't even like
No.
Wait, so
kick
you didn't
into
feel it? Like you
Well,
didn't-
this
like,
is what my doctor says. If somebody, you get a cut and you bleed out,
yeah.
that sudden change makes a difference. But when you slowly are losing your blood, you don't realize it.
it's true.
Because it's like a frog. You put a frog in hot water, and it'll jump right out. But you put a frog in cold water and slowly turn it up, it'll sit there because it doesn't realize
Feel
the
the
change.
temperature
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. I just started getting more tired.
You just felt like, oh,
I
something's
just felt like
wrong.
I'm tired all the
tired.
time.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
am I tired all the time? And everybody's answer is, you're getting old. You're pushing yourself too
Isn't
hard.
that crazy?
You're getting
That's
old.
crazy.
Why is getting old the
That's
go-to
what it is, and
thing?
my
What
doctor
the
I
said-
thought that's an acceptance
Yeah.
thing. Like people just accept I'm
Yeah.
getting old, you're getting old,
Yeah.
accept it.
Like, stop playing soccer. That's why you can't run anybody down now. You're too old.
It's
And
like, oh, Michelle had a heart attack. Oh, she was old.
yeah,
Like,
and so I
it's
went to my doctor, and he said,
stupidness.
when I went to the specialist, he said, those people who told you you're getting old were trying to kill you because it was that you don't have any blood. I had a blood count of 72. Your blood should be over 150.
Wow.
So basically what's
Like, how?
happening,
shit.
yeah.
Why?
So basically what's happening is my heart is pumping really fast to try to find the
So you-
oxygen in my blood,
I was gonna
but
say
I
you were
don't have
literally
blood.
running on adrenaline
That's what
to
it-
keep
yeah.
you awake and even do your normal stuff of drive.
I
Imagine
used
you
to
driving.
fall asleep at the wheel at a red
Yeah,
light.
that is horrible.
I used to fall
I
asleep
think
at
you
the red
told
light.
me
Yeah,
that.
I stopped at a red light once and I fell asleep.
That is horrible. And you woke up and you're like, what the heck happened?
Yeah, and then that's when I realized this is not normal. Something's going on.
I remember that.
I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was losing my mind because
That is dangerous,
what also
man.
happens when you
Holy
lose
crap.
too much blood is it shuts down parts of your body
Your
that you
brain,
don't need,
yeah.
Yeah,
which
your
is your brain.
organs and- yeah,
Because
yeah.
it looks that you don't need your brain for staying alive. It just keeps the vital part
you're
of
a
your brain.
vegetable.
So your mind is always cloudy.
Oh,
You
shoot.
just always feel again like you feel like I thought I was going
Yeah,
crazy.
you can't concentrate
Yeah.
really. Yeah,
You're tired all the time. There's a veil over. You can't focus. You lose your focus, and slowly.
So
well,
what was the? How did you get out of that situation? What was
they
the,
gave me iron infusions,
Okay.
and I had to have surgery because I had fibroids. So the
Okay.
fibroids were what were causing me to lose my blood. So yeah, so it took months, but
How long did it take you to recover to start actually doing some working out again?
yeah, it took a few months. They told me like when they found out it was, they said stop everything.
Of course.
Don't unless you
Just
have to
because
do
of stress
something.
already. Like to
Yeah.
even stay alive.
Yeah,
like
he said, "Do you
that-
have to work?" And I said, "Yeah," and I have to
Yeah,
eat.
yeah,
yeah.
So he said, basically, go to work and come home. And it was over a 2-month period.
That's
that they-
depressing in itself for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
but it was scary.
Of course it
when
is.
you don't realize, and that's the thing I also learned, that you have to listen to your body. And
Mm-hmm.
you can't listen to other people. You have to listen to your body. And when you think there's something wrong, you need to go and
Mm-hmm.
look
check
into
it out. Yeah,
and
check it
not
out.
listen to other people saying you're getting old or you're stressing yourself out. First, check it out physically and find out if there's something physically wrong with you and take care of it.
Yes.
But as I said, if I wasn't in the gym training and seeing, wait, I could do, stride jumps before and now I can't. Something's not right here.
Right.
I wouldn't have noticed it.
How long did it take you to build back up after you started working out? Like to actually in a state, because I still remember you coming to me months later,
Mm-hmm.
months and months later, and you were like, hey, guess what? I chased a girl down
Yeah.
last night. And I chased another one
Yeah.
down last night.
in soccer?
And
Yeah.
so- yeah.
Michelle chased a girl down. What the fuck?
I chased
Yeah.
her down the field. And I took the
caught
ball.
her.
And I took the ball off.
And I wasn't winded when I got
And
to
I
the end.
wasn't winded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
It was actually funny because it took a little bit longer than I expected. Because at first, I thought you just bounce back. I thought, okay, now I have enough blood. Everything's going to go, I'm just going to be back to Michelle. I got my blood back. And I was still winded. I was on a cruise with my daughters, and we were walking a lot. And I was always like, wait a minute, stop, wait, stop. And that scared me. I thought, have I done damage to myself? So I went back. I had to go to a heart specialist. And he did the, I don't know what you call it,
ECG.
yeah, and all of the things where you put the blood, they actually look at your heart.
Right.
So it was like a minor surgery. They pump fluid in through your
Right.
vein or some kind of dye, and he looks at your heart. And he made a joke. He says, how people take selfies? You should take a selfie of your heart. Your heart is in. He says, I can't believe how old you are. He said, keep playing soccer. Keep going to the gym. Keep pushing yourself. He says, your heart, you have no plaque in your veins and arteries. but your heart suffered a trauma because literally I didn't know it was this long. For 2 years,
Shut up.
I
2
was,
years.
yeah, I was living or moving around with less
You
blood.
were a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
You were ready
Yeah.
to go at any
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that's what they
2
said. They said it was,
years.
yeah, I didn't realize it.
People don't realize too, like this whole process. Once you get into the medical process of things, it's very stressful on a person. Not even just to say, okay, not already my health is not in a good standing, but to be unsure or uncertain of what's going to happen next. Test after test.
Yeah.
Needles in your blood taken out,
Yeah.
testing, here, come before another appointment. Well, 6 months we're gonna.
Yeah.
That's very stressful in
It is,
itself.
because when they were trying to figure it out, they did the stress test and they had me on a treadmill, and I'm like, I'm in the gym all the time. Like he was like, maybe they said maybe you're not working out enough. And I looked at this guy. I was like, you know what? You come to a strength and you class. Let's see how long you last. You're not working out enough.
Yeah.
As I was on the treadmill, my blood pressure went up so high that they had to stop the test. It went from like normal to, I can't remember what she said, but within a critical level right away.
Okay.
180 over something. She's like, yeah. But at that point, they didn't realize you don't have enough blood.
True.
They went
yes.
to
Good.
everything else before they decided to
Hey.
look at that because of age. They look at your age and then they go, oh, okay, are you working out? Are you working out hard enough? I was like, okay, you're an idiot. Because I know what I'm doing here, and I know, I'm sorry, but there's no gym that is doing what you guys are doing in here. So
We didn't pay her to say that, by the way.
no, but you know it, and everybody that has come in here says the same thing. Like, wow, this is intense.
Yeah.
I've been in here in a lot of classes where people come in the first time, they're like, this is intense.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, okay, see you next week. When do you come back? I'm like, tomorrow.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it is a great workout. So I knew I had that part locked down. So that was good for me.
Right.
Because if I didn't know I had that, then I would be questioning, okay, maybe I need to change those things. But I knew that I was working out well. So there's something else wrong. So I kept going back and going, you need to fix this.
You need to.
Because I want to go back to the life I was living, and I can't.
Active, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd go to soccer, halfway through the game, I got to come off.
And that's definitely like you want to play the whole
Yeah,
game.
and I also don't want to feel like I felt like I was having a heart attack on the field. I
Oh,
felt
my.
like someone was punching me from the inside.
That's scary as hell.
Yeah.
man. That's scary as hell. Yeah.
And, my heart was pumping so fast it hurt. And I'd have to go down on one knee and come off. And
Jesus.
it was like, I'm at the gym, I'm working out. I'm not just one of these people that show up on the weekend, to play a sport. So why is this not working? So that's what I'm saying. If I wasn't here and I wasn't training at that level, I wouldn't have noticed the signs to be able to take care of
Wow.
something that obviously needed to be taken care of. And when I went to the doctor, she said she had seen women have heart attacks because of this. And I was like,
Wow. Oh my gosh.
oh my goodness, this is real.
Yeah. This is. Yeah.
And she said to me, you're lucky.
That is insane.
Yeah.
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 That is, I
She
didn't
said,
even
yeah,
know that.
she said,
That's
you're
crazy.
lucky. And I said, the
Wow.
only reason, because I went to you and I said, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm out of breath all the time. When I'm here, that was the key.
That's
I'm
not
here
normal.
working
Yeah.
out. Why all
Your
of a
conditioning
sudden
should be
going
constantly
up?
getting
Remember,
better.
I
Yeah.
said, why is it getting worse all of a sudden? And as I said, I realized thinking back that it was over a 2-year period this happened, but it only kicked in within the last year that it started
Well,
to
'cause
change.
it started
Be-
going
And then-
lower
right,
and
and lower.
because
Yeah.
physically I was
Physically.
able to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between being out of breath and feeling your workout, especially when you're doing something that's high intensity, stop and go. Your heart's gonna go up and down. But what you were describing to me was I'm really out of breath, and it's almost like it hurts
Yeah.
to breathe.
Yeah.
That's not normal, people. So if you're feeling that during exercise, that is not a normal
No.
feeling.
And also, if you're working out this hard and you go to an office building and climb a set of stairs and you're winded at the top,
Yeah,
there's something wrong.
Yeah, you were doing this type of workout for a while now,
Yeah, for
right? At
years.
this point, right?
Right.
So it's not like you're new and then you
Right,
felt this.
that's it.
You were doing this for a while. You're used to this type of workout, high
Mm-hmm.
intensity, challenging your heart, and then you started feeling weird. Yeah,
And I'm like,
you never worked out
right.
before. It's like, holy shit, what is
That's
yeah,
exactly it. And
yeah.
people said, what do you expect? Like, you're getting old and you've pushed yourself too fast. Now it's all coming. Now you're paying for it. Now, and I started to believe it at first.
Right,
Until I
right.
spoke to you and you said,
Right.
go see your doctor.
That's
He'll
amazing.
He will understand what you do in here and he will know that something is wrong. And he did. He said, you need to see a specialist. I know, strengthen you. This should not be happening.
So how long has it been now since you've got a clean bill of health, and as a like after you've gone back and you passed
3 years?
3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and how are you? Like, how was your conditioning and your body change in those last
Oh,
these
great.
last 3 years?
Well, as I said, with a personal trainer and you set goals, and I come in here and training and say, okay, now I want to go to the next level.
Right.
You know, I'm in here training. I want to be able to. I want to feel better. I want to feel fit. And he goes, really? Unfortunately, I said yes.
Yeah.
And that was last January.
Right.
And we picked it up a notch.
Right. Right.
And this year, and I changed the way I eat. I now eat, you know, I now eat vegetables.
Eats vegetables.
After how many years?
It took me
Jesus
till
Christ.
Yes.
April of this year. I now eat
Oh,
vegetables.
that's a sure win for
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
Michelle.
yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, since April, I lost 17 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and obviously your body composition
Yeah,
has changed.
but it's
You've
not
built
like
some lean
muscle.
tissue.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. Sorry, it's
No.
not fat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like better. I never want to feel like a weak link in anything.
Okay.
And so I'm playing soccer, and I was at the point. That was why I felt sluggish on
Okay.
the field, and I started to feel my body wasn't. You know, you're not. I can't have that reactive, explosive movement that you need. And I talked to Chris about it, and we talked about it, and we said, okay, he's gonna change things up, and you know, you really gotta lock your diet down. He really sat me down and talked to me in a way that wasn't pleasant. You know,
but it was real. It was a real talk.
It was real. That's
talk,
what I
yeah.
like about here. Nobody sugarcoats stuff
Right.
and says, oh, you know, it's okay. You know, he sat down and said, you're not doing everything. When you're doing everything you can, then come back and complain.
Yeah.
And
Amen. It's
yeah.
true.
That's great.
You have to hear
You
it
need
sometimes.
that. You need that check.
Especially
Everybody
when you're
does.
already doing it and you think, I'm better than that person over there. You
Yeah.
start comparing. That's the worst thing in life,
Yeah.
is start to compare. You should look at your own self and what you're doing and your goals, and not saying, I'm better than this person over here, or I'm not as good as that person. Then you lose focus.
I mean, that's a big thing that we were just talking about prior to starting. Like, I mean, especially these days, the world has so many standards of you, especially with social media. Like, you know, at this age, you should have a wife and kids. You should be this fit. If you're working out this many times,
Yeah.
and you know, everybody's a standard of you. And I mean, what's the advice that you always give your children?
Don't listen to it. It just takes you off your own
Born on.
focus. But you also first have to decide what's more important. Do you want your friends? I always say this to my kids. Are you okay with not having friends? Because the more you listen to yourself, the more other people who want to be part of a crowd are going to drop off.
Yes.
Because you shed a light on the fact that they could be doing it too.
Amen.
I think that's a very key point that I think it makes them feel uncomfortable that you're working and you're doing something. It's like, but we're all making excuses why we shouldn't do that.
So if I don't need to do it, if I can just stop you from doing it, and then I'll
That's
feel
exactly
comfortable
it.
not
That's
doing it too.
a lot of people
I'm
are
pretty
like
sure
that.
you,
Right,
like
right.
we always talk about that's
Yeah.
like that's a a story of your life
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I'm always saying, you know, to my kids, if you're that first one out the door, you're more likely to get shot, but you're the first one out the door.
Yeah.
Because you're going to stand up for something, and because you're the
Exactly.
first one out the gate, you're the one taking the heat, and then everybody else is coming out behind you.
Yeah, and then they're
Yeah,
gonna
then they're
eventually
good.
realize,
Yeah.
man, this person's gotten so far ahead in life and their fitness and their and anything else. Man, like, what am I doing? It's time for me to start
Right.
doing it now. Like,
I mean,
you
as
know.
I said before, I have friends that now talk about retiring, and I sit in a room and I have nothing to say because
That's not in your world.
not in my world. And I'm like, retiring, no, it's not. I don't feel like I even, what would you do all day? You know?
It's true.
Other than come to the gym, I'd
Yeah.
have more time I'd get to gym, but it's not for
true.
me because that's not the life
No.
that I have set for myself. So
You wanna
retiring
constantly
is not,
grow mentally.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to set goals, and other people are looking at retiring. And even recently, you always fall in this trap because I start thinking, well, shouldn't I be more like them? Like, I am 57. When am I going to stop looking at what am I going to do next and start looking at, like, you know, people say, aren't you going to move into a smaller home now that your kids are grown? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? I get that a lot.
Yeah.
And so you question yourself a lot. So I think the key thing is now I've learned just to kind of question and move on. Like, do a really quick, don't sit with it, because when you sit with it, you start to think maybe there's something wrong with you.
Kind of let things roll off a little bit easier
Yeah,
these days.
yeah.
I mean, that's part of being very, very focused and zoned in and very clear on your goals, right? So a person like you who has very, very clear goals and clear directive of how to get there, you're easily rolling off these things that, you know, negative
Right.
naysayers, people like that. So
But at the same time, that's why I like this podcast. I like things like this because there are times when you do anything that's different, you're going to meet resistance, you're going to meet
Yes.
failure, you're going to meet struggles, and it is so hard to keep going.
1000%,
It's so
yeah.
hard to keep going. So you listen to these things, and that's what I do. I work, as I said, I'm an accountant, so there's a lot of times I work at home, and I literally have two computers. One where I have podcasts going or YouTube
Awesome.
going,
Amazing.
and one where I'm working on it. And at the end of it, I'm like, it's like mentally cleansing yourself and saying,
Yes.
okay, I'm back on track. I was in a slump for a minute, but I'm out. Time for the gym, go in the gym. You just do your thing. And that's the hard part, as you said, with social media, with so many other things where people are telling you how you should live your life. I
Yeah,
always say,
you know,
I always
that-
say to
that's a-
people, don't tell me what I should and shouldn't do. The only thing I should do is pay my taxes and die.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm good.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
I'll
something
live
you
my
did
life.
tell me too. There's only two
If
things you need to do in
start
life.
with the word should, I've just tuned you out.
Right.
I
You
think
have
I
to.
think what you just said is very important, and people should really pay attention. Like when you feel down, you control
Oh, you have
your
to.
environment. You're not. So when like you feel it, right? You're like, oh, all these people are saying this about me, or I should do this. But no, let me put on something that makes, you know what I mean, that sets me back to where I'm supposed to be.
Even
Like
music.
you control it, right? It's like, and a lot of people like to, they drown themselves out with that negative noise and stuff like that, and they don't have the ability to pick themselves up. But I think a very important part, and I do this all the time, especially with business, like when
Yeah.
you feel lost a little bit, it's like, no, okay, let me put on something that somebody else did, and maybe I could learn from that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very important
pick
part.
me
Like analyzing and auditing yourself, knowing when you're starting to go on that down curve, and then doing something about it that you know that will work for you
Yeah.
to set you up to get you back up. I think a lot of people don't have that self-awareness to be able to do that, and I think that's a huge thing.
Right. And it's also something I was listening to about goals the other day, and they were saying you need to set goals big enough to stretch yourself
To inspire
Absolutely.
you.
and
yeah.
to inspire you. And some people don't do that. They set the goal that they know they can meet so that they're not disappointed and you don't fail. Because failure hurts and it's tough, but we all go through it when you set big goals. And I think that's something that the media doesn't show. They only show that person when they've hit the top.
Success.
And
yes.
you don't see what they did to get to the top. So a lot of people keep dropping off before that because, oh, this is obviously not for me because I'm struggling. And
Nobody else has gone
nobody
through
else
it.
struggles. But the problem is you didn't show those people struggling. So they didn't get to see it.
course.
And you feel like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. You start questioning the goal you set because it isn't materializing quickly enough.
Of course.
And I think there are things I've done and I failed at, but along that line, you've grown so much and you've learned so much that failure is more like an education and
Yes.
that you wouldn't have got if you didn't do it.
So like, how do you? Okay, so all these things that you've been like battling your entire life,
Yeah.
pretty much. How do you? Is it natural to you to just be like, fuck everybody, I'm doing this, or did you adopt it in some way? Like what? Like how would somebody in a similar position, whether it's like, you know, I'm a female or male, like I'm getting older, things are feel like they're getting against me. Sometimes I'm the only one
Right.
to you know, I can only rely on myself.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how do you get to that point where, you know, you consistently push through all that bullshit?
I think it's just force of habit because you've kept doing it and you see that when you do it, it's better. So a lot of times what I do when I feel like that, and my kids laugh at it because I do it all the time, I will literally sit up and think about another time when it was hard for me, when we made it through.
Wow.
Okay.
And
So
that,
you
I
reflect
got
back.
through
Reflect
that.
back,
I
yeah.
got through that, so we will get through this.
That is awesome,
You know,
yeah.
and
Interesting.
I think I always joke and say I grew up in Scarborough before being black was cool. Okay. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
in
yeah.
Scarborough when
yeah.
I was
That is great.
one of four black kids in my whole school.
What was Scarborough back then? What
Oh
ethnicity?
my goodness.
It was all white kids?
It was all white
European
kids.
descent
Yeah, all
type
white.
of-
I
yeah.
had one, there was me in the class and a girl who was half Asian, half white. That was it.
Wow.
In my class. In my school, there were 4 black kids. My sister and I, five of those 6 were getting teased and I refused.
Right.
I used to beat up people for my sister who was 3 years older
Wow.
because she'd say that every day I'd fight at recess.
Right.
And it
So
was
you
funny.
you built up the resilience
Yeah,
back then because
because-
like, you had to.
You had to push through.
You had to, or else you're
To
going to listen
survive,
to all the
yeah.
little, things that people would say about
Yeah.
words. You've been in the playground at recess, just doing your own thing. Somebody walked by, racial slur. Like, are you kidding me? No. So
Jesus, at that age.
at that
eh?
age, so you go,
Holy
and then
shit,
it was
man.
great because you go down to the principal's office, and I'd say he called me a name, and the principal goes, go back to class, because he doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
They were just like, so I saw it as, wow, this is a get out of jail free card. I can say
yeah.
you called me a name even if you didn't. And I'm ruling things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much how it started.
So you did build that resilience
Yeah,
over time,
because
and
it's-
that kind
yeah.
of built your character to push through anything.
Because you realize if you're going to listen to what everybody, the names they call, and then I was at West Hill, and again, when I went to West Hill High School, at first it was mostly white, and then they started busing in children that were at Malvern, so then the school started to become more integrated. And
Diverse.
so that was like grade 10 when I
Right.
started going to school
with other black kids. And
any
stuff like-
culture.
Any
other than
culture.
white
Yeah, yeah,
culture.
yeah,
yeah. Diversity.
Yeah. So I guess all of that helped me build up a resistance. That's what I'm saying. So I was pretty much getting used to getting it from a young age for a different reason.
Yeah.
And so at that point, my parents grew up in Jamaica, so they were more, oh, just let it go. Because they didn't experience
Old
it.
country,
Yeah.
So they were just like, oh, rise above it. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not rising above it.
This is how I'm going
Well,
to
that-
rise above it.
That is
I'm
how
not
you rise
rising-
above
Yeah,
it.
that's how you found
What's
your
rising
way.
above it? Oh,
Like,
just let it
ignore it,
happen.
just
Ignore it.
ignore
That's
it,
not
just
rising
ignore it.
above
So
it.
no,
That's amazing. That's, damn, like, you've done.
Yeah, you've done a lot,
done
especially
that's what I
for
said.
your
It's
kids.
been,
yourself,
it's been
for
like,
your
I feel like
kids.
it's always been like putting on a
This
suit
is-
of armor when you leave your house.
This is amazing.
Yeah, but you're always willing to fight it though. That's the
Yeah.
amazing part. It's like
Yeah.
every,
I don't know, yeah.
every time you tell me some crazy shit, like like oh you're whatever, something happened in school and stuff. I'm like, damn, Michelle, like I wish
Yeah.
you were my mom. God.
My son used to say that a warning bell went off when I came on school property because he'd come home and tell me stuff. I'm like, no, don't talk to my son like that.
Yeah.
You go back up. Because I find now, and I read a lot of books about people, and a lot of things that have happened are set from your childhood. Things that you've internalized that people have said about you or the way you're treated, and you internalize it and you start believing it. And you start
Yes.
believing, and it's a self-fulfilling
becomes you.
prophecy.
Yeah, it becomes you. You
Yeah.
walk around
so
with it.
someone calls you a name or tells you you're no good and you'll never amount to anything, or that you're a troublemaker, or any of these things, and you start to internalize it. And you say, okay, this is who I am, so now I'm going to show you.
You associate with yourself
Right.
with that
That
description.
feels better for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, you're comfortable there because it's
Everybody's
been
gonna
told
say
to you
it.
for so long.
I might as
So
well make 'em
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Might as well
Yeah.
make 'em
I mean,
right.
you already think this of me.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to listen to your own voice after all of the, you lose yourself. And I think
Well,
that's
especially
important.
when so many people are telling you who you
Right.
are, and you believe in strongly that you're not. But then obviously a lot of people who aren't internally strong with themselves are like, oh fuck it, and I'm like this then.
Not even who you are, but what you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say I did well in the education system because I'm that type of learner. And I will spew back in a short time what you gave me.
Yes.
So then I'll get good grades. You tell me something, I'll spew it back. I got an A, I'm gone.
Right.
And that's what the educational system is
course,
about.
yeah,
But
that's
if you are not that type of learner, then you're going to learn from a young age
Yeah.
that you're slow, or that you're like
course,
children are
yeah,
children,
yeah.
that you're dumb or whatever, and you start walking around and wearing that. But that's not who you are. That's just, you just don't learn like that.
Yes.
And everybody has their gift, and you have to find your gift and not listen to other people because your gift may not be mainstream.
Wow. That's a great lesson.
Find
to
your
take from
own
here.
gift and believe in yourself and do that. And unfortunately, in this world, there are not a lot of people that help you believe in yourself. There are more people that help put you down.
That's true. Amen. to
And
that.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to say to my kids, like, the home should be where you get that support, that unconditional support to go out there and do what you need to do. But not everybody has that home. So that's why places like this are good, because the vibe in here is very positive and very encouraging. And you just feel better when you leave than when you came in.
Yeah.
And if you get that from here, then that's great too. But pick that up and take it forward in your life, and look for it. Purposely look for places that build you up, and get away from places that tear you down. We have enough of that.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that that's what our mission was when we first opened. I remember that conversation that we had. We're like, 99.9% of people outside of these doors are treated like shit.
All day
They're a
long.
number.
Everybody at
They're,
some point.
right? They're
Yeah.
they're beat on.
Your boss
But-
beats on you.
Yep.
Your everybody. Yeah.
Your spouse, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
your
know.
kids,
If
everybody.
you're in
Yeah.
with entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, the banks treat you like crap.
yeah.
You know, a T4 slip?
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Of course.
Yeah.
But then the moment they walk in here, we have to change that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like people, like we are the conduit to people's greatness, right? That like
Yeah.
to experience that, and I think that's the addictive part for me and him. Like you see somebody come in and you see their mannerisms and how they walk and their body language, and then when they come out, if they're here for a few months,
Right.
like holy shit, this person totally changed,
Yeah.
right? Right, and I see you sometimes when you're stressed through
Oh,
the
yeah.
week. I'm like, "Fuck, Michelle has a bad week," and then you see you after, you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, she's good now."
Yeah.
My
Right,
daughter
she's
calls
good.
my daughter calls it my therapy, and it is.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
joke with therapy. It's mental therapy.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
in here and just like, you might feel beaten up, and you can get through a class, and you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
It just rejuvenates you, and
Yeah.
you need that balance because, like you said, more and more. I don't know why this world is more. You've got angry drivers. You've got everybody willing to jump at you.
Yes.
At a
Oh yeah,
moment's
they're so
notice.
quick to
course.
jump
Oh,
down
yeah.
your throat these
Yeah,
days, call
you
you
know.
out, talk shit.
Yeah. And you just need to be able to shrug that off, come in here, recharge, so that you realize half the time it's not even about you. It's about that other person that needs some help.
That's a
you
great
know,
lesson, yes.
they need some help. That's all I can say.
You know, the crazy thing is your doctor was absolutely right. You did need antidepressants, but it didn't come in the form of a pill.
No.
It came in the form of you actually moving and testing yourself again.
Yes.
And I think that's, you know, doctors are right. People do need antidepressants, but you don't need a pill to do
No.
that.
It doesn't necessarily
Your
mean a pill.
chemistry is dictated by
Yeah.
you, by your
you,
movement,
yeah.
by you, right?
Your
Like
environment, your
Environment.
movement, the way you
your nutrition,
you see
everything,
yourself,
yeah.
how your own personal outlook
Yes.
will determine whether you're depressed or not.
like, would you rather have the fogginess of that pill?
Oh, I would.
Or
I'm
fucking
so
like
glad
that
I
it's
never
The
went down
clarity
that road.
of achieving
Yeah.
your goals.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad I never went down that road. Like I said, it just wasn't for me, and I felt it, but I also felt, and I can understand why people get trapped in that, because you feel like it's either this or I'm just going to walk around feeling gutted the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because I can't get out of this fog that my father's gone.
Yes.
You know, this is a man I talked to every day of my entire life for over 50 years.
Yes.
And I was just like, there's no point to this.
Yes.
And I can
see-
understand how people get down that rabbit hole. It just
100%.
starts and you just fall.
Yeah, you just dig deeper and deeper
And like I
deeper.
said, you know, my kids were saying something to me, but they're my kids and they want the best for me. So I would, you know, kind of just like, oh yeah, they're only saying this because I'm their mom.
Yeah.
But then when I saw you guys and you're like, right away, what's wrong? Why aren't you at the gym? And I was just like, I just got to get my head straight. My dad just passed away. And you're like, no, now's when you come
Yeah,
back.
this
Come
is
on.
the time
Come
you
on.
have
This
to
is
be
when
in.
you
Like,
don't
yeah.
walk away. This
Yeah,
is the time
this is
you
when
come
you
back.
need it more,
Right.
and that's why I keep telling people, like, when life gets harder, this is, like, you need to strengthen yourself.
Yeah, but it's almost natural
Right?
to retreat.
Oh,
Like a
yeah.
wounded animal, you
Of course.
retreat and you don't want to
course.
be around other people.
Yeah.
But again, you have to realize in environments like this, it's hard to see other people being happy when you're not happy.
Yes.
But when you're around environments like this, you realize that that happiness is supportive.
Yes.
And that you can feed off their happiness as opposed to looking at it like, oh, they're laughing in my face kind of thing. Like the world is happy, but I'm not. So I need to stay off to myself.
Yes.
You need to come around people like an environment like Strengthen You, where you can feed off that happiness and get back to your old self, or
Yeah.
get back to your better self, even better than your old self.
Yeah.
This is just a perfect example for anybody listening out there that if you're in a rut, no matter how old you are, no matter what state you're in your mind state, or how depressed you are, it's never too late to get back and regain control of your life and yourself again, because anybody can do this, but it does take a lot of work. It's not going to be an easy road.
No.
But if you're willing to persist and have a clear vision of what it is that you want in life and how you would like to ideally live your life and feel. You know, you can get back to doing this. She's a perfect example.
All right, Michelle. So, to
Close it
to
off.
close it off, to our listeners who are pretty much, you know, around your age, going through the same struggles as you are, one piece of advice would you give them to kind of help them get over that challenge that they're facing?
I think for me, what I keep looking at, I think somewhere deep inside you, there is your own voice, and you have to try to find it, because once you find it, it will tell you what you want to do, and then just set that goal and go for it. What other option do you have? Because that's the only way you're going to be happy. And even if you don't meet that goal, you're going to build yourself up, and 5 years from now, you're going to say, oh, wow, look where I am. I didn't even think that I would be here. I think it's about setting a big goal and then setting little goals along the way to reach that. I don't think at any stage of your life you should just coast, because if you coast, you're now helping someone else achieve their goal. You're not. Someone will be out there using you. So why not just go for your own stuff? And I mean, without the expectation of this has to work. I'm just doing this because I'm here. I'm still breathing.
And I want to do it.
And this is what's going to
Something's telling
make
me
my life
inside.
more fulfilling. Right. Something
Yes.
inside me is telling me that this is what I should be doing.
Yes.
Rather than asking somebody else, what should I be doing? What do you think I should be doing at this stage of my life? I don't ask other people because I don't
That's
really
amazing.
care.
Thank you
All right.
very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you
much,
for your
Michelle.
words
This
of
is
wisdom
amazing.
and taking your time with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Again, guys, this is Behind the Strength, where we improve your health, wealth, and peace of mind. If you have any questions about today, if you'd like to, ask questions to Michelle or us,
Yeah.
please do contact us.
BTS@strengthenyou.com. That's Bobby Terry Sandy at strength-n-u.com. If you have any questions or you want to talk about more things about Michelle, feel free to do so, man. She's here. We'll forward her the emails and stuff like that. So yeah, feel free to post your comments and questions.
Thank you for listening, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Boom. That was great.
Thank you. Thank you.